Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the topic of NoFap. For the uninitiated, NoFap is a forum focused specifically on helping people quit porn and masturbation and stay off that fap. There's a website, there's a Reddit page, there's all sorts of stuff online, but today we're going to look specifically at NoFap TikTok.
If you're still beating your I don't know what to tell you.
I relapsed on NoFap 13 times in a matter of 2 days.
If you watch and you've been trying to quit, stop scrolling.
Now, I'm not a researcher, I'm not a scientist, so I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to respond to too many of the scientific claims made by proponents of NoFap. With that said, most of the stuff we're going to be looking at is anecdotal, and it's just kind of silly and fun, so that should be fun. With that silly fun stuff also comes some very disturbing stuff in my opinion, so we'll look at that as well. If this is too weird or gross for you, I totally get it, but also, you know, a lot of people watch porn, and this site is mostly men that watch it, but it does affect people in different ways. Maybe you've experienced that effects firsthand or secondhand, or with your own hand, if you catch my meaning. That's a masturbation reference. All right, here we go, let's go.
If you don't know what NoFap is, it's when you stop beating it. You stop watching everything, etc., etc. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so here was me 3 years ago when I discovered NoFap, and I also started to get into the gym. I was low-key a loser, and I was the type of dude to be like, yo, where the bitches at? And then once they come around, just be like checking the weather app and shit. I was just overall super shy. Then for 8 months, I was on NoFap and fully celibate and just nothing at all and just working out, and I got super massive. I did gain some confidence too, and my skin started to look better. And that brings me to where I am today. Super healthy looking skin, colorful eyes, whatever else, jacked.
Taller, smarter, more limbs. I grew an extra leg. I got another dad somehow. I have 3 dads now. He just showed up out of nowhere. I love that part about the colorful eyes.
Colorful eyes.
Like the excess bus just spilled over into his bloodstream and up to his skull and into his eye sockets and lightened his eyes. That's a certified gross moment. We can state the obvious here, right? Which is that correlation does not equal causation. He's not explicitly claiming it, but the implication here is that NoFap had a lot to do with this stuff. And while I think that's true, you know, NoFap is ultimately a sort of impulse control. It takes effort to curb a habit that you've been doing compulsively for a long time. So it kind of stands to reason that that would align with other healthy habits that you're intentionally choosing to do in your life. Going to the gym, skincare, changing your eye color. I don't know about that one, but it's probably more to do with the better habits and lifestyle change, but maybe it's the NoFap. So let's check.
After you've built up enough semen, so at least regulating every 2 weeks, bare minimum, if not every 2 months, if not longer. What ends up happening is your body creates an excess amounts of semen, and this semen has to go somewhere. That semen begins to transform and starts to rise up the body.
Your cum turns into steam and starts flowing out your peen like a vape. Marlboro meat.
And bring it to your brain, stimulating your brain with orgasmic, vibrant energy, stimulating the pineal gland, opening up your sixth sense.
There it is. I was right. That's it. Your skull gets filled with cum. This will in turn cause your brain to have an orgasm, and just wait, you'll be able to smell colors. The only color you're going to be smelling is white, because you're going to smell cum because it's going to be in your brain. I don't. Gross. Everything about this is gross.
You can experience cool things like lucid dreaming, like higher frequency intelligence, telepathy, being able to pick up on subtle frequencies.
Okay, so this was indistinguishable from satire until he said telepathy. That means it's satire. Surely it has to be, right? Then I checked out his profile. He's a mastery of men's sexuality. He's a cum influencer, and he's for real about this cum stuff. It's mostly semen-based content, and I think that's great. Good for you. You found doing what you're loving. That's important.
As you're retaining semen and your body continues to produce semen and starts to build an excess of semen, that semen has to go somewhere. So what the body does is it starts to recirculate all your best proteins, enzymes, and nutrients throughout your bloodstream, which then repairs you at a biological and therefore psychological level to balance out your
The fucking animation. The magical seed infiltrating your bloodstream, refilling your Fortnite shield. That's what I call a chug jug.
Balance out your hormones, your testosterone's going. This is why guys report deeper voice, brighter eyes, brighter skin. They have more of a glow to them. It's because you have all the best stuff circulating through you.
I hope you're keeping track of all these benefits, this bountiful sack full of benefits. Confidence, discipline, energy, skin, mental health, skin. Some are even saying it makes your hairs are growing faster than before. These wacky claims are best exemplified by the superpowers timeline. It's a list of positive symptoms that apparently will show up along your NoFap journey from day 1 of quitting up until day 60 or 90, depending on the chart you consult. NoFap timeline, day 1 through 3, blue balls, fighting urges. Week 1 and 2, motivated to succeed and do more, develop a natural and healthy attraction for women, increase confidence, increase gym strength, increase testosterone levels, brain clarity, improve social skills, increase immunity, alpha male sign. 2 weeks is all it takes. Amazing. Months 1 through 6, brain resets during this period depending on how bad your addiction was. Withdrawal symptoms continue, gradually getting easier to handle random giant urges, learn to live with the benefits. Oh, here's a shorter one. The NoFap, days 1 through 7, you get a lot of urges and increase in energy levels. Days 7 through 21, you naturally get more productive. Days 21 through 60, you start to feel like a new person. If you use your time right, you'll get productive like crazy. Days 60 plus, confidence is improving every day, unstoppable. Some have even made the wonderful, delicious claim that it made their pee-pee grow. There was a joke video about a guy saying that NoFap killed his sex drive.
Oh, you're awake. Well, your teeth are finished, and your gums should be here by the end of the week.
my dick at?
Some people seem to have the opposite experience of that. No cap, it made mine longer and my girth increased, lol. For y'all that's wondering, for me, I tried it, I did like 45 days and mine got bigger. I don't know what he experiences, but mine definitely grew. Whoa, hey, what's up? Before we continue, need to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Air Up. Air Up is a unique hydration experience. The Air Up water bottle uses scent-based technology to transform your water into some delicious flavors. How does it work? Well, by drinking through the Air Up bottle straw, a slipstream is created that transports water and air through the scented pod and into your mouth. Smelling in your mouth, oh, it's so delicious. This allows you to keep your body free of chemicals, additives, or sweeteners while still getting that tasty taste that we all know and love to taste. Air Up has 15 different flavors of scented pods to choose from. They got peach, wild berry, raspberry lemon, watermelon, cucumber, and more as well, even too. Each pod lasts for about 160 ounces of water or 1.3 gallons. To use it, simply fill up the bottle, attach the scent pod onto the mouthpiece, activate the pod by pulling it up, and then drink normally by sucking water up the straw. Don't tip the bottle though, seriously don't, I'm gonna be upset if you do. Air Up is a great holiday gift for your friends or family. It is great because hydration is important. And right now you can save up to 30% on Air Up with their holiday bundles. They're only here for a limited time, so get them while they're hot. Go to the link in the description to take advantage now. Okay, back to the video, and sorry, there's lots of other silly content out there about this crap.
My God. Oh no. Disney, chill.
Oh, come on, dude. Man, that's a teenager, brother. Why you had to do that, man? Why you had to do that? Like I said in the intro, I'm not here to do a big debunking of all of this stuff. The most cited website, which is yourbrainonporno.com, has a list of a bunch of articles basically supposedly supporting the NoFap movement. But even just a cursory glance at the list doesn't explain most of these anecdotal examples of like how people are feeling. And that's just what they are. They're anecdotes. And so I'm not going to invalidate anyone's experiences. If that's how it feels, that's how it feels. If NoFap works for you, it works for you. Live your life, fill your brain with cum. I don't care. Okay, pause here. I'm editing and looking back over this research, and there's some wild stuff that's come up. So I'm not doing a full debunk, but I want to look at some of the weird stuff and just leave it for you to think about. Any NoFappers in the audience, pay attention. All of the research on this site and in the books and DVD, I guess. It's a book you can buy, by the way. Were compiled by a guy called Gary Wilson, who is not a doctor. He has no degrees or licenses. He's just kind of a guy. He's an author. Now, as I said, there's a ton of studies that are linked, and so it makes it kind of difficult to go through and debunk them because it's like it's a lot of reading. I would just very much question the agenda going on here, where a guy selling a book has borderline or explicitly religious views about not coming, and this research being the basis for a very popular online movement. This is not me arguing that no is good. I personally think it's fine as a medium, but its most popular forms today are probably very harmful. Rather, that I am skeptical of this movement given the anecdotal nature of so many of its most fervent proponents' claims. I stand by my point that if this works for you, go nut or go crazy. But also, you know, it can't hurt to look into the research with an unbiased view, which I know is probably hard, for lack of a better word, to do if NoFap feels really good for you. Anyways, just had to do that real quick. Okay, back to video. Now, the subreddit does have like a community aspect and some potentially helpful posts. People basically just coming in to say, hey, I fapped. I relapsed. This is bad. It hurts my feelings. I'm ashamed. And then the boys come in and say, hey, it's all good, man. You're gonna be all right. Just keep going. Or this woman who shared her story of how her husband's use is hurting their relationship. My husband is watching again. He has an addiction to it, and when he starts using, he is very demanding in the bedroom. He doesn't really see me as his wife, but more of an object to get blank from. It's very hurtful, and it devastates me. We've been married for 2.5 years. I try so much to give him a lot of energy, but I'm a stay-at-home mom with a 7-month-old. I have thyroid problems, 40% on my liver, and I'm severely anemic. I'm constantly tired, but I manage to pleasure him daily. I'm just upset that he goes to blank often. It hurts me a lot. This is just a very unfortunate story and quite sad and a little bit scary. It goes beyond unfortunate into like abuse territory, or at the very least neglect. The dynamic being that she manages to pleasure him daily rather than, you know, some kind of mutual sexual experience. Extremely heavy, extremely dark. But the fact that someone has an outlet to talk about it, I don't think that's bad. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. We see some supportive words in there. Okay, great. One of the funnier things I found was that the NoFap subreddit has a little bit of a beef going with the Goon Caves subreddit. For those who don't know, r/Goon Caves, it's a subreddit that's dedicated to people showing off their setups for watching and worshiping. So this subreddit is basically the antithesis to NoFap. It's pro-masturbation and porn consumption to the maximum extreme levels. And here's the post from r/Goon Caves. I hope they all relapse and become depraved fucks again like us. It's kind of hot, that comment of the guy who shouldn't have looked. You know he's going to relapse now. That's kind of hot. Imagine thinking you're better than us because you don't blank when you want. Lol, losers. And then the NoFap caption is, they get off to you losing. Prove them wrong. Be better than them. Just remember the Titans for cream. Here's where things start to get interesting though. There's a tweet that got shared in the Reddit that says, I hope men with a porn addiction or a lust problem know that they have this aura to them. In the Reddit, it was shared with a caption, it isn't placebo, gentlemen. Take what you want from this. There are a few different types of responses in the thread. First, from guys that felt kind of sad or ashamed. This makes me feel embarrassed. I think this is the last straw for me. The fact that women can literally tell just by being near you that you're a coomer sounds terrifying. Coomer, there is, I mean, you get it probably. It just has the ring of a sound of the name of someone that's cooming. Makes me feel worthless. People have said to me before that they could sense I was a porno watcher, so I think there's some truth to this. I saw another group of replies from the sort of incel black pill types. Bullshit. That is what it's called. If people had aura and sixth sense, wouldn't be so many single mother people getting cheated on or dating monsters. Ted Bundy wouldn't be famous in fame also. I love the Ted Bundy example, or that one prison guy who everybody says he's hot. Women will date a hot murderer before they date me, an ugly, probably future murderer. Yep, this is BS. She can't detect anything. She is creeped out by guys that she finds unattractive regardless if they use porno or not. Exactly. That is how they do. MFer isn't good looking. Doesn't matter if he's the new Jesus and don't touch his D, not even to pee. They'll claim he has the bad aura. In other hands, good looking MFer can be sex addicted and will have a good one. Have a good one. Just like having a good day. People who deny pretty privilegey and superficial fucker will create any excuse to cover their bias. Listen, man, I don't know about all that, but now you got me thinking about NoFap Jesus. Brings a whole new meaning to the second coming of Christ. I said it brings a whole new meaning. The last group of type of guy that I found was the guys who were just curious. They wanted to learn more. What kind of aura? I would say one that pushes away attraction. I know girls can't inherently tell if you use it, but it's definitely the personality of a porn user that created the aura. I'm interested to know specifically what she means. Zaycliff here is going to have a crack at it. It means the way you carry, the words you say, the actions you do are unattractive or at least make people don't really want to be around you, all under the influence of PMO. PMO just means doing the thing that NoFappers don't want you to do with no. What's wild is that we know, based on the statistics of who uses NoFap, which is 99% men, that this entire conversation is speculation. Even if they did want to figure out what this lady meant, instead of just giving their own conjecture, they would need to look outside of the forums to find that. If any of those boys are here, let's just have a look and try and learn a little bit more about this. The perspective in that tweet was echoed in a TikTok, which outlines some of the more specific signs that women pick up on when it comes to this type of guy. It's a TikTok from YV_edit. The first and most common one was about dead eyes.
A lot of times you can tell by the eyes, the way that they look at you and other women. A lot of men who have issues with corn have this certain like dead look in their eyes, absent. There's just like nobody home, especially when they look at women. And it's typically because their brain has been so cornified that they can't perceive women as human beings or as something interesting to like engage with or engage in conversation with. They just see women as objects for pleasure. And therefore they don't have the same kind of curiosity. They don't have the same kind of, honestly, life in their eyes that men who are not obsessed with that stuff will tend to, look at you. They'll tend to be curious. They'll tend to look around, like think of like a deer, versus like I don't know, like an alligator or something.
There are tons of comments on this video basically backing up what she's saying here. Men with dead eyes scare me so fucking bad. It's like I'm literally meat to them. The dead eyes, oh my god, yes. They look at you like a prey they're about to hunt. Just a bunch of other people saying this as well. The next one, and this is a pretty big one I hear about a lot, is these sort of violent depictions of what happens in general, translating to the bedroom, especially without consent.
A lot of women lately report that even when they go to like kiss somebody at the end of a first date, a lot of men now just start choking them like right away. Like when kissing or making out. You have to remember that that is the same thing that somebody would do if they were trying to unalive you. And the fact that men are going into it with no consent, with the fact that it's happening so quickly, they're not even waiting to get into the bedroom and like, you know, tell you about preferences or anything like that. They just literally will start trying to cut your airways off. That is absolutely insane. And you need to safely get out of that situation as soon as you are able to.
These again were backed up by a ton of people in the comments. You can just see the likes of the comments. It's a lot of people. The last experience is talking about just being used as like means to an end.
You feel like your experience was not important. You feel like maybe they didn't try to look at you. They didn't try to engage with you. They kept their eyes closed. They were like physically there, but emotionally like completely detached. They are having to think of corn instead of your body in order to finish.
So this perspective is anecdotal, right? But it's anecdotal in a different way than the NoFap stories, because the shared experiences from the NoFap stories are generally like positive, good things, their benefits and good traits, whereas these are very much indicative of harm. Shared experiences among a community that hurt people, traumatize people. So it's like more of an urgent motivation to correct that kind of behavior. And I guess the point I want to make for sort of the NoFappers is just because you've quit doesn't mean you've been cured of that type of behavior. Those are deeply ingrained behaviors, because a lot of the people that talk about being NoFap have been watching porn for a long time and addicted for a long time. And the 90-day refresh timeline might feel like it's happening, but if you're unaware of how the symptoms manifest in ways that sort of quote unquote scare the maidens, then those behaviors might not ever get corrected. You might be feeling better, but you might still be scaring the maidens, you know? The last thing I want to talk about, and one of the bigger things that kind of worries me about this, is that taking the benefits too far can also have a weird effect when they're applying that logic to the world of dating, because some in the NoFap community list that off as a potential benefit is that you are horny so you want to date.
The reason why NoFap will change your life is that since you're not releasing energy to these people online, you're going to satisfy your biological urge to actually procreate and actually want to meet women.
My god, this editing, it's gonna make me puke. It's giving me scurvy.
There has been times where, let's say you're tired at night, maybe you're feeling some type of way a little bit, right? So you just hop on the computer, rub one out real quick, and now you're ready to go to bed. But what I've noticed is that once you actually start doing NoFap, instead of being lazy and wanting to just rub one off and go to bed, you actually figure out, how can I actually have a woman in my presence, right? Whether that means you'll start to go out more, you'll actually start to pursue and invite girls over more. And we all know that having a woman in person is way better than having a woman virtually.
So we get what he's saying here, right? You're not doing that thing by yourself, so you probably might want to go out and do it with someone else. As a practical prescription, I think that makes sense, but the idea of it, the way this manifests, is weird to me. The pursuit of sex is made as the primary goal, and it doesn't actually involve physical intimacy with another person. The explicit intent is to just swap out your hand and your laptop for a body.
Having a woman in person is way better than having a woman virtually.
I don't think that's great, in my opinion. I think it's good to be social, but you know, the reasons behind it are also important. And if the reasons behind it are like what this guy's talking about, then that's exactly what the TikTok comments were talking about earlier. If what got you out of the house was to just find a thing to do, then the entire rest of the experience of being a human and having human connection is not really relevant.
This is why NoFap will help you get more girls.
Why is everybody yelling at me?
Say you're starving, right? And you have no food in the house. What are you gonna do? You're gonna somehow try and get food, because there's no other outcome except for you dying if you don't have food. It's the same concept. You are so addicted to watching that shit, you're okay with doing that shit and pleasuring it in that way. When you stop doing that and you realize that there's no more porn, no more thing to watch and self-pleasure yourself, you will go out and try and find someone or do something to get it out. It works. You will have no other outcome except for one thing, and that is to find a girl to do that for you, to get with the girl, bro. I'm telling you, yo, you think I'm crazy, bro.
I will say that's the most romantic way of describing a hookup that I've ever heard in my life. You'll be able to get it out by finding a girl to do that for you. Hi, I found you. Now can you please get this thing out of me? For me, please. Charming stuff, truly. I'm just picturing, because of NoFap, an army of freshly reformed gooners climbing out of the basement and sprinting towards the local bar, filled up with the confidence that the forums have gave them the superpowers that they are saying they have now, and getting in the bar and scare and just freaking everybody out, or doing shit that's porn brain shit. And that's spooky stuff, you know, just reading what people are feeling, it's spooky stuff. NoFap might get you out of the house and in front of the maidens, but that doesn't mean you're not still scaring them. Editor Noah here, last caveat. I'm not saying don't go out, and I'm not saying don't try to go meet somebody and go get all freaky. I'm just trying to say, you know, bring awareness to the fact that you might be doing some of this stuff that very much seems to be overlooked in the NoFap space, given that these women's perspectives are not represented, and when they aren't engaged with beyond being used as justification to the validity of NoFap. Sorry for all the caveats. I'm just trying to change the way I approach these. Okay. Anyways, a little bit of a different video, a little bit of a weird video, but I had fun. Let me know what you thought of this one. I had certain obligations that made it so that I can't keep covering the things that I want to cover at this current time, but that's okay because now I can, now this is out of the way for the month. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me. Thank you so much. Check out patreon.com/SAMSEN if you want ad-free crap. Hope you liked it. See you, bye, and next time, enjoy.